Hey guys, this is Eric from Team Rec here, coming at you with a deck profile. We got Spright, which I took to locals last weekend, going 4-0, taking the win. Um, Deck performed really well, played a going second build there. So let's just jump right in. My matchups were branded Eldritch for the first two rounds, and then I faced against a pretty cool water deck with the new Legendary Duelists stuff. That was a really tough matchup, like floodgates and the like, and you really had to play it differently to get the win on that one. Then I played Tier in the final. Good matches overall. Like how this build performed against decks like Tier and Branded. Um, Board breakers are kind of the thing now, so I wanted to try that out and just minimize hand traps. And yeah, let's just jump into it. So we got our Spright monsters. 3 Spright blue, 3 Spright jet, 1 Spright red, 1 Spright carrot, 1 Spright pixies. Yeah, this package worked really well. Some lists have 2 red, which is fine. I thought like going second, drawing into 6 card hands, it wasn't really necessary. It's just a good card for going first anyway, so I didn't really want to hold on to 2. Blue and jet, of course, are maxed out for maximum consistency there. Pixies really helps cheese out wins. I guess I was close to time on one, and my only play was just to get Pixies and go to battle. So sometimes you cheese it that way, but the main takeaway of Pixies is it helps you in the battle phase, and that's something that a lot of decks aren't prepared for. Just pushing for damage. I know you can put Daigusto Phoenix in and like do OTKs with that, so it really opens up a lot of possibilities there. Not playing the Daigusto Phoenix, but something to consider. Next, we got our Frog lineup here. 3 Swap, 1 Ronin. Still not playing Dupe Frog. I don't think it's necessary. It's a little bit greedy trying to go for that because you're obviously punished by Super Poly. I know you can sometimes survive it, but I don't really want to open up those lines of play. You can get 2 negates off of just Toad and Elf anyway. So that's the rationale I'm sticking to. I don't want to see dupe and it go in second hand. It's really not ideal. There's better cards to draw into. We got 3 Diva, 2 Beaver. Yeah, I fully acknowledge I should be playing 3 Nimble Beaver. I just kind of threw this together right before the event there, and yeah, played 2. I thought 5 of these normal summon starters were good enough. I only actually saw Diva the whole tournament. I don't know. I just kind of treated those as Diva 4 and 5. They're just level 2 bodies, so not much to be said about that. And I guess Diva does open up Hulk possibilities too, but I'm also not playing the Synchro Tuner. Kind of forgot to put that in last minute as well, but still good extension nonetheless. Next we have hand traps, and I just kind of kept it trim on hand traps, like the ones I thought were best right now for this format. Also 3 in Perm. I guess we'll just talk about this at the same time. And Perm's probably one I'll never get rid of, because I like the fact that you can set it and open up plays that way with call and negation. That's still very useful, and dropping that from hand, going second into a board with like problem monsters where you need to just blank them out quickly and you don't have access to Dark Ruler. That's more utility there. With Ash, yeah, still useful to keep Ash in. DD Crow's obviously good this format against Tier. Yeah, a couple of the decks as well. I probably would cut the Crows and then maybe the Ash, just to put even more going second cards in if I'm going to commit to this build. I don't think it's something I'm going to run with, but a lot of decks are just built to stomach like 1 to 2 hand traps through their combo anyway. So I think there's like more of a case to be made for board breakers instead. But this is what we ran with, and it worked out okay. Now for kind of your board breakers, I just played 3 Alpha, Tops, and then I'll just go into these other cards since I'm moving on to the spells. 3 Dark Ruler, 2 Econ. Alpha is really cool there. I think it even has like synergy with Nimble Beaver. If you really want to do that, that's not something that came up, but yeah, it's a really assertive card against a lot of boards, and you can technically drop it twice, or you can drop it twice if you bounce it back. Dark Ruler is awesome. It's just kind of like our droplet of this format. It's your generic sort of blank the board card. You're not risking as much with it, of course, but kind of filling that void with droplet, because droplet also serves a good purpose in targeting or punishing targeting cards. The fact that you can sort of blink monsters away that have been targeted is really cool, especially going second, and then you can take control of something. That interaction really can turn the game around. So I thought that was good to have. I think evenly in like Lightning Storm could be options to consider too, but don't have those cards. And of course Mystic Mine, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like playing mine decks. It's just not my style. I have my opinions anyway. 3 starter smashers, standard there. Worked best for me, just the 1 smashers. Just kind of extra utility for the deck you don't want to see too often. And yeah, drawing into 6. Still good to keep at 1. You'll see it when you need it, I think. Just to conclude the main deck, we got 2 cross out here and a Pot of Desires. Yeah, Desires was kind of like, if I see it, cool. If I don't, no worries. I should be on Prosperities, but I thought this was fine. Yeah, Desires is a +1, arguably. I always activate it after my combo when I'm using like starter and swap. I just wanted to get my important pieces out first, then drop Desires. So it's also why I didn't want to see it like all the time. I didn't want to draw into another one. Crossout was fine because of meaning hand traps in the deck, and then also meaning Dark Ruler makes it legitimate that way as well. So onto the side, or we'll go the extra. I played a Toad, standard, Zeus, standard. I guess what's not standard is I dropped Downard. I just kind of weighed the options and the extra deck space. Just felt it was kind of greedy. You can still get to 2 material Zeus, and you're only going to kind of get that off once, so I'm not too concerned with the Downard material there. 2 gigantic standard. Sky just to get to Zeus. Soul Sweeper for, you know, extra board breaking and helps you push. If you're pushing for game, if it's coming back to the field anyway, doesn't matter. On the Lynx, Underworld, I just kind of keep it in as a form of removal. That doesn't start a chain, and it's also a good monster to end on because it's unaffected by effects that don't specifically target it. Warlord should be an access code, but I played with this, worked out well. I think I just got to use it once, but it does help you push, and that's something that this deck struggles with, is having a low damage ceiling, so that helps you there. 3 elf, I think 3 elf standard. It's going to help you grind. This deck wins through the grind usually. You're not just going to OTK or drop a board where they throw their hands up in the air. They're usually going to try to push through it, and you're not dropping first turn boards. You're playing into it. So I think naturally you're kind of fighting that uphill battle for that payoff of surprising the opponent, but 3 elf still is valid. Phoenix, it's just removal, you don't have to draw into. Dark, standard, I think. IP, arguably not standard, but works well for the deck, being linked to, and the options you can tap into with it are still crazy. I was just in the middle of kind of changing things around, but that was actually a Halka Fibrax. It should have been that, because I wasn't playing the Synchro Tuner, which didn't really make Halk too useful. But that should have been an area, so recommend that. And this card's insane in the mirror, so that's why I'm moving to it. Okay, side deck, and then that will conclude it. We got Red Resonator, 2 Skullmeister. I'll just go through the monsters here first. 2 Lava Golem, and 2 Sphere Mode. Yeah, removal, it doesn't start a chain. Just dropping these are pretty devastating. You do risk your normal summon there, so be careful about that. Play it smart. Having Red Resonator just kind of makes this like a Prank Kid deck in time now, which I find is neat. We don't want to win this way, but sometimes we have to, especially in a large tournament. If you don't have enough time to close the game, you're gonna have to play something cheesy like that. I just put that in to help against tier. And I guess I've seen tier decks actually play a card like Skullmark Ladybug, so that could help you not get gamed in time. Something to consider. That'd be pretty rare to come up anyhow. I just played traps and monsters on the side. So 2 Soul Drain, 3 Solemn Judgment, and 3 Appointer. I liked to go first game 2 if I lost. Game 1, I wanted to just put up a oppressive board state with counters, and then pick out the out in their hand, just try to get the win that way. And then, you know, going first against tier, putting these in is obviously devastating. So really the deck's only threat is tier. Like, those decks are just kind of fighting it out at the top right now with a couple other contenders. So that's kind of the philosophy behind this deck. And the locals is full of them. So if I was prepared for those, I'd probably prepared for anything else that I would encounter. So yeah, that was the rationale there. Yeah, but as far as the deck goes, I think going second Spright does work. Is it the best way to play the deck? Arguably. So yeah, I would agree it is, especially because we're moving into a board breaker state of the format. Hand traps are a little less effective with how decks are playing. So I'll probably be on this for a bit, and it also has that surprise factor. A lot of people might not think you're playing Spright, but yeah, really liking the deck. Stay tuned for more profiles. Thanks, guys.